If more of you supported the show, I'd be less sick of podcasts. Grimerica.
The blah blah.
Sending out good vibes.
The blah blah.
Good vibes. Good vibes.
The blah blah.
Good vibes. Good vibes.
108 breaths of deep gratitude and prayers for guidance and protection. And put on a didgeridoo and shamanic drumming track. Shivers or vibrations and stuff like that. 108 breaths of deep gratitude and prayers for guidance and protection. And put on a didgeridoo and shamanic drumming track. Shivers or vibrations and stuff like that. 108 breaths of deep gratitude and prayers for guidance and protection. And put on a didgeridoo and shamanic drumming track. Shivers or vibrations and stuff like that.
If more of you supported the show, I'd be less sick of podcasts. Grimerica/support.
Most people who have a near-death experience, about 50% of them accept reincarnation as a fact. The other 50% do not.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the Grimerica Show. We are going to be chatting with the one and only PMH Atwater a little bit later about NDEs and things like that. But first, as always,
don't forget the manual for developing humans.
Don't
That's what
ever
we talk about.
Interrupt me again, or the show is canceled.
Now you know how I feel.
Canceled. The one and only Graham C. said he sleep over Dunlop. How's it going, buddy? Excited?
Yeah.
It was
I'm
either going to
excited.
be C. SETI or Knuckle Deep.
Knuckle deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 Knuckle Deep Dunlop.
I was
long
going to
you
say
sporting?
something about my finger.
That's, well, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Graham's, for those of you who can't see, which is all of you, Graham's finger is in a little splint here. Want to tell us what happened there, big guy?
I got slashed in hockey, and I just looks like a tendon's been broken. So my finger's like permanently
Broken?
bent.
So now you have to wear that thing for 8 weeks.
Well, she says it's too late to fix it. I waited too long to go to the doctor. I went to physio, and they messed around with it, but they didn't realize. I guess they didn't realize I should have it like bent backwards like this for 8 weeks.
It's probably because they're not doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that. Doctors know better than...
We'll see. Anyways, we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, time will tell.
So yeah, we'll talk about
We're
that
both
CSETI
injured,
thing. I'll do
actually.
a little segment on that because I've got some UFO sightings to share from other groups around the world.
We're both injured now, then, I suppose.
What do you got? Your little stomach problem?
Yeah, it's just not going away.
Is your muscle?
It felt like it was getting better, and then today it doesn't feel much better.
Really? It's been a week now.
It's been over a week. Yeah, a week, and would have been a week Tuesday.
And the doctor thinks it's a pulled muscle?
Yeah, he said 3 to 8 weeks.
And just go to physio. Honestly, physio sometimes knows what to do.
Think so?
Yeah, most of the time.
It bugs me. I can feel it. It's right in here, and it's this muscle that runs up and down. Because now when I can it's getting to the point now where that's like starting to be more localized.
Well, I hope you're okay, buddy. Hope it's not a hernia. I hope you don't.
Well,
have to
that's
get
my
in-
next thing is like, how long do I wait before it's not that anymore? Sometimes I think I have just the worst doctor. But I like him because he's super cash, you know?
Yeah.
He's fine with the vaccine thing. He admits that he doesn't know fuck all. And,
Wow.
and, you know, he never rushes you into antibiotics or anything. You know what I mean? He's just like, he's an old school Somalian, is the way I picture it.
Yeah.
Then sometimes I wonder if he isn't just a little too cash.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I did check to make sure it wasn't my gallbladder, I guess.
Mine seems pretty intense. She's new. I'm new to her or whatever, but she's pretty like always looking for little things, right? So my kidney function is low. It's supposed to be at 50 and it's 38. So she's already recommending me to a specialist. She wants ultrasound on my kidney, and she keeps thinking I'm taking ibuprofen or something. But I think
Did
my
he tell you you were an
creatine.
alcoholic for
What?
a long time?
Did I? I
That
think so.
probably does quite a bit
Yeah,
of
I think so.
fucking
Yeah.
damage to your kidneys.
Oh no, I'm fine for that. It's been almost 10 years.
Yeah, I don't. Do they just do it better?
Well,
Well,
apparently not. But
Exactly. That's a
So-
tough one. Actually, I got shit because I've had a wreck form in my fucking truck for like 2 months. Go get my x-rays and shit from my shoulder. But it was just like once I found out it wasn't my heart, I just was, that was my concern. Then I found out it was a structural problem, which probably means there's no.
Why do you even? What's wrong with your shoulder again?
I think it's my rotator cuff.
Just go to prolotherapy.
Is that where they shoot?
It's covered.
Stem
You got
cells?
$500 covered on your insurance. No. It's not stem cells. It's just sugar water. It's a naturopathic remedy, but they inject sugar water in your joints and stuff. He's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Nobody drops dead because there was air in the needle.
My
or
shoulder's
anything?
better.
Really?
Almost better.
Huh.
And that's chronic. Like my knees, 100%.
Yeah, my shoulder's in rough shape. I dislocated it a bunch of times, like 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
That's what happened.
And
to
it
mine.
didn't bug me until like, I've always noticed that if I slept on my left side, I'd wake up with pain in there, and it's right in here.
Right by your heart.
Yeah, so I thought I had heart
That
problems.
little tiny heart of yours.
Yeah. And then I went and got all the heart stuff done, and then heart's fine. So that's when he said, and then when he mentioned it, you can start to feel when it gets bad. I can actually feel it's like those muscles pulling away from my rib cage, and then I'll feel it all the way down around in here.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah, like if I go like that with my shoulder, it's just, and it's bad, it's just like,
Yeah. Yeah. And the
grinder.
float,
So I'm sure I'm just going to go, and then they're going to say that I need to get shoulder surgery, which I'll have to wait like 2 years.
no.
for.
Try the Prolo. It'll help. It regenerates the healing in your joints. Actually, the Prolo would have helped my finger probably.
Well, maybe I'll try that. If we're covered on it, I might as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'll wait a year for surgery, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, surgery's the last. That's the worst case, right? Last ditch thing.
What else did it? Seems like it's the first ditch thing.
No, that should be
My
last.
shoulders.
What?
Like, I think Plumber went to the doctor just like I need surgery.
I know, but that's the last thing you should be doing, right? I think.
Inject things directly into our blood system.
Well, you got to go through physio. I'm surprised they'll just send you to physio first. In some provinces, you have to do 3 things of physio, or they won't even recommend you for surgery. Like you have to do that before they even fully recommend you to surgery. Like,
Really?
that's what it's like in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, but I think if I go to the doctor, then my physio's covered, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I don't go to the doctor, then it's not covered. But
Well,
the
it's covered
doctor's not
anyways
gonna
under
say
our.
I need physio.
It's covered anyways under our insurance.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Unless I go get the X-ray.
Yeah. Actually, if your doctor recommended you physio, it probably would be covered.
That's
I think.
right.
But our insurance covers it without the doctor's note.
Just a limit or unlimited?
500 again. So I've almost. I feel like a hypochondriac. I've used up like 500 in massage, 500 in physio,
Acupuncture?
500 in, no, I haven't done that yet. I should go for the fucking quad this year, and then 500 in Prolo.
What about chiropractor?
I've never done that.
Yeah,
Never done
500
that
for
or acupuncture.
You got both. Rogan hates fucking chiropractor.
I know. I think
Wow.
I think he's wrong there.
I think he could be a little misinformed.
Yeah.
But I've never died.
He's got too many hardcore skeptical friends that just, I don't know. Anyways, I did want to mention that, we don't have to mention it now, but we do ramble on like this before the show, just for all the new listeners out there. Big shout out to everybody. And you can fast forward to the interview, but we usually go through a little bit of lazy ramblings and we read some listener stories and some emails and trip reports and stuff like that, talk about a few things, and then we get into the interview a little later.
Usually. You can just skip ahead. There'll be a timestamp in the show notes, or you can skip ahead.
Fast forward button.
That's right.
Usually this goes on for 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how long the interview is.
Sometimes an hour. Sometimes it doesn't stop. Just don't stop. So what do you got for me, buddy?
Well, I don't know. I mean, do you want to get into this, the CSETI stuff, or what do you, I got a couple synchronicities, some listener
Let's
feedback.
start with
Like,
some synchros.
oh, no, you made me.
Seems like it's been a while.
I'm a rambling gram with synchronicities all over the web. And Aaron is skeptical about everyone and don't believe it yet.
Someone sent in the original of that song to me the other day.
Oh, I didn't know that. That was one.
Traveling Man.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. So, You're going to have to excuse my, I don't have the 3-finger technique on the laptop with this thing, so.
You have those 3 fingers.
No, that doesn't work.
No?
No, the pinky's too short.
Too short's a big problem for you.
So this is a shout out to Sam and Desiree. They were at the Red Pill Expo, and they sent in an email here, and they said, "Wow, Graham, the synchronicities in the June 30th Richard Lighthouse show were outstanding. I'm going to try and listen. I'm going to try and list them all. Here goes. You mentioned Samuel and I, Desiree. That was because that was after the Red Pill Expo when I mentioned them. You read my sister, Brittany, synchro on the same show. We didn't even know she was sending in synchros. Samuel and I have just come across this blinking universe via intuition exploration. And we've also met others in the Houston area where Richard is currently and that understand it. And the Seth material is something we started reading, listening to prior to the show. We have synchronicities between the Seth material, radionics, and your show. Just too much to cram into an email. All of these things tie into a deeper project we've been personally working on for years, and it seems as though the convergence of all this information is literally now. Thank you for all the amazing and validating shows and flow of information. You and Darren are true beacons of light in a world that can easily seem dark." Desiree.
Sometimes we get called the dark.
Really?
Yeah. Only when we talk politics.
Really?
No. Only on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, YouTube's just a troll haven. No worries there.
Troll haven?
Actually, we haven't done a YouTube segment for a while with comments and stuff.
Yeah, we could do one today.
Okay, I got another quick synchro here. So
that's tough to rate.
Yeah, that's a tough one to rate. It's like a compound synchronicity.
Kind of like your compound fracture. Actually, no, isn't a compound when it sticks out of the skin?
Yeah,
is that how it works?
This is just that's just ligament damage.
It's like a flaccid finger.
It's ligament damage.
It's flaccid.
So, hey, Darren and Graham, just started listening to your show 2 weeks ago after finishing a live stream of No Agenda, which had one of your episodes playing right after.
Oh, the No Agenda guys are just the best.
No, they're great. What a community. Oh, actually, I should probably just put a link in the show notes to that as well.
Oh, yeah, like them putting us on the live stream has been pretty big, pretty good for us. Yeah. Absolutely.
So the first synchro came that it was the first synchro came that it was the Bizarre LA episode. Remember that one? Yep. So I immediately downloaded it since I was driving down to LA from San Francisco Bay Area and wanted to listen to the show in its entirety. Recently, I was listening to your 4th year anniversary show, and I think one of your guests mentioned the Higher Side Chats, a podcast that I really enjoy. That was yesterday.
That's not the synchro, is it?
No.
Okay.
No, that was yesterday, June 10th, 17. Today, I listened to the recent THC episode, and Greg mentioned you, Graham, and your suggestion to go to the conference in Arizona. Immediately, I thought, holy fuck, that's too much of a coincidence. And today, 6/11/2017, one of your producers in the donation segment on NA mentioned the Grimerica podcast, which was a full circle of synchronicities. Funny
Which day?
June 11th.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Funny that it all happened in a week of being introduced to you guys. Love what you guys do so far. Catching up on the back catalog should be fun. Cheers. That's Sonia from California.
I think the whole back catalog is in iTunes.
Yeah,
or is in Spotify too.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
because I think I checked and every episode's been played in Spotify now.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Yeah. So we've been getting a lot of people contacting us from Spotify as well.
If you're on Spotify, it's not going to work when I send. If you're a supporter and you're on Spotify, it's not going to work when I send you the link.
Wow.
Already run into that.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that later on in the show when we talk about it, the support segment there. So thanks, Sonia. Glad you found us. And thanks to the No Agenda community.
We'll give that a 7.
Right on.
0.42. Why did I have to start adding the 0.42 again?
42 is the answer to everything.
I think you were 42 when I met you. And all fucking downhill from there.
No, I was 41 when I met you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh. You must have been 42 when I cared.
I was 42 when we started this.
Has it been 5 years?
Well, I mean, December
I guess he
12th.
was. That's what it was. 0.4. That's why the 0.42 is there. Must be
No, it's because 42 is the
answer to the universe.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just love pointing out my age.
I didn't point out your age.
Yeah, you did.
I alluded to your age. It's like a little riddle
You're
that people
bugging me.
have to solve.
You're close to 50 now.
Actually, I told everyone you were 50.
I know. Thanks. Hey, what do you want? The UFO quote or a sighting and stuff? And for the
Let's do the UFO quote, and you can roll it into your C-SETI sleepover.
Okay.
Alan and Graham are going deep. It's a profound UFO quote of the week. Words to ponder and critique. It's a profound UFO quote of the week.
That's actually one of my favorite jingles too, and I remember somebody giving that one some hard time.
Yeah, you.
The study of UFOs is a necessity for the sake of world security in the event we have to prepare for the worst in the space age. Irrespective of whether we become Columbus or the Indians. That's from Air Commodore J. Salutin, National Aerospace Council of Indonesia and Indonesian Parliament member. I got another quick one if you want.
A twofer?
Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
That it could be an aircraft constructed on this Earth, I do not believe possible. That's from Commander Juan Barrera, in command of Acquir, Cerda Air Base. I don't know where that's from. Probably Chile or one of the sounds like Central America.
Sounds like a party.
So, anyways, we had Costa on from ET Let's Talk, and we got a lot of good feedback from that episode. But I was thinking of reading. We get emails from them every once in a while, and there was some sightings from the field. Let's see here. And we're going away this weekend, a bunch of us, for an overnight contact experience.
Sleepover.
A sleepover. I'm going to be freaked out in my small little tent.
I bet.
I'll be yodeling there. I don't think it'll be scary. At least I'll have some friends around. It was scary being on your own in the woods, but...
Are you guys going in the woods?
I think, well, we're in the middle of nowhere, I think. Yeah.
You think?
Well, I don't know yet.
You're just
We're
along
secret.
for the
It's
ride?
the location is secret, so we don't have any interference from the secret space program or anybody that's shilling out there.
Are you being serious right now?
What do you mean?
You guys are having a secret location? 'Cause
I
you're
don't know
worried
where
you
we're
guys are being
going.
monitored? Nobody knows?
I'm on. The only communication is on Signal right now, which, I mean, obviously that's hijacked anyways, but just one extra level of security that they would have to get through to find out where we are and hoax us or something.
Or fucking Graham just never comes back after the weekend because he's locked in some cellar.
Cellar? What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. I don't know where you're locked up. Maybe it's an old abandoned mine.
Oh, yeah. So this is from Costa's ET contact at Mount Shasta, his retreat. So he says, wow, what a week of sky and ground contact, or ET contact, we had at Mount Shasta. That's in Northern California. Our Mount Shasta retreat group linked up with the global CE5 initiative teams that we knew were going to gather on June 24th. So at Mount Shasta, 17 of us experienced 6 nights of flash bulb streakers and slow walkers with flashes. Every night was populated with them. Sorry about that.
Real piece of work, man.
The final 3 nights were epic, more volume and more dramatic, longer-lasting sightings. Several of us could feel the presence of many ET beings within and just outside our circle under the stars. To top it all off, at midnight, our final night, as we were ending the retreat, a group member spotted a stationary light hovering on a ridge, maybe 2 kilometers from us. Everyone stopped what they were doing. The object was close to the ground and not that far off. It was light. The light was floating, dimming, powering up, turning off, and then back on. One group member saw it as an oval shape with definition. Another group member flashed a flashlight at it, and it responded with a flash of its own directly at us, several times. We all discussed the various conventional explanations that might account for this, but in the end we agreed it was likely an ET craft. We implored it to come closer, but it did not. Later, we speculated after analyzing the attitudes of our group members that one of them had enough fear of a closer approach that it served to diminish the chance of such a closer approach. After a half hour or so, we gave up but departed with excitement. Our group had never before experienced a close approach. We had been focusing and meditating on that, welcoming it all week. Tell us your ET contact experience. Thank you. Breathe the fresh air of Earth. The free air of Earth, actually. That's what he put there.
Are you reading the newsletter email?
Yeah? I think so.
Me too.
What do you mean, me too? You mean you think I am?
Yeah.
I said it was in
feedback. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I wasn't listening.
What a shocker.
I was prepping for the YouTube segment.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I was trying to figure out which one of us is a dick.
Okay, so that's not too hard to figure. Actually, I got feedback about your dick from the listener.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
About me being a dick?
This is from the Grumpy Green guy. The 4th year anniversary has come and gone. I was listening to the 4-year show and for a specific trip report mentioned in 195. 21 minutes and 5 seconds. What a disappointment. I did not get to hear it. I re-listened to 200 just to make sure it was not in there, and it was not. But I heard a good show quote from that show around the 110-minute mark that referred to Darren. He got the white penis.
What?
You don't remember that?
No.
You made a comment, said I got the white penis. We were talking about race and color and stuff.
Yeah, nice. I don't remember that. So we said that something played in a certain part of a show and it didn't? We must have said the wrong show.
No.
Oh.
No, I think, yeah, actually, I might have said that.
Well, all you'll have to do is just check every one.
Do you want to, I can continue on. He's got a little ghost story here too.
But we're starting to get followers in Gab.
No way.
I don't know how that's even possible.
So can I continue on here? I want to finish off his email here. And then we can talk, if you want, about the trip report. So anyways, I have a little ghost story to tell you guys about. It happened.
What trip report?
No, I'll tell you about the, oh no, we won't talk about that, will we?
We might.
The trip report episode?
Just.
Okay. Anyways, I have a little ghost story to tell you guys about. It happened a few years back. I lived with my grandmother who was in her 90s. I got off work around 4 a.m. and took a shower when I was done. And I could not open the door to the bathroom because it was locked. It was an old style lock that uses a skeleton key. I had to yell to wake my grandmother up and asked her through the door if she had the key to unlock the door. She told me she has not had a key to that door since the 1950s. I eventually got out by bending a coat hanger she handed me underneath the door and picking the lock. I know how this lock set works and know it was the actual lock mechanism that was locked, not the part connected to the doorknob that was stuck. My grandfather died in the room right beside the bathroom, so I think it might have been him. Also, in the latest show, number 228, it was funny that Darren was making fun of you by saying chats, not chat, but now there's multiple chats.
There's not multiple chats.
Keep up the good work. I hope you guys could interview the missing 411 David Pallades and the health ranger from Natural News Mike Adams.
I've been trying to get the health ranger and David Pallades, so you should just tell them that they should come on the show.
And I was thinking when I was talking about camping that it's a good thing we haven't had David Pallades on.
Ooh, that's too bad.
Because that would have been a little freakier, I think.
Yeah, no, there is only one chat, is the Discord chat. Everything else, all signs point to the Discord chat.
So we have a perpetual chat room?
And it's the Discord. Everything else is canceled.
Right.
I think Grimsteak and Failed still patrol the Hangout. And if people show up there, they send them to the Discord. But the link is grimerica.ca/chats.
That's CHATS.
That's right.
Okay. You could have done it like CHATZ or something.
Don't know how to spell. No, that's a millennials thing.
Okay. So there you have it.
There I have it. That's it.
That's it. So thanks for the email, grumpy
Which
green guy.
episode did he say I had a white penis?
200.
Is that a bonus show? What, did he give you the timestamp?
Around the 110 mark. So
Minute?
don't try to find it now. But
I don't
110.
remember ever saying that.
You don't?
And I don't remember sending people to the wrong episode either. You'll just have to go through every episode.
No, I don't
at
think
that timestamp, and you'll find it. It's like an Easter egg hunt. Speaking of Easter eggs, check out Lost Bread comic on the website. I've been meaning to talk about that. Check out the website, and Nap's been doing the web comics on a weekly basis again, so there's a whack of them up there. And they're still filled with Easter eggs, and I don't think they're just Grimerica Easter eggs anymore either. He's starting to pick on some listeners as well. Some of the more prolific listeners. And then if you guys head over to, I can't remember the website, it's either Grimsteak or Gromsteak or something, but him and James Cruz have started up a podcast.
Oh, are they actually doing a podcast, or are they just doing, I thought they were just doing it.
Yeah, then they're releasing it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I think they got a few hundred downloads. Yeah, they're doing great. We'll link it in the show notes and check it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good for them. All great things that come out of the chat.
Oh, yeah, it's really fun in there. These guys are pretty funny.
They are. Graham doesn't come around much.
I don't have a lot of time to do it. I get stuck, and then I try and read through it and all that, but it's hard for me to stick around there for a while.
He's just going to get upset.
What?
I just get upset
Why?
if you start going back and reading through.
Oh, why? You guys are dissing me all the time?
No, they don't let me. There's too many Team Grammars. I can't get away with it.
Team Grambo.
Team Grambo. So, what else was there?
Well, we got to talk
I
about
wanted to do the social media segment, but why don't we can get into that after you read the Tokyo email.
Oh, yeah,
We'll
right,
go
okay.
through that whole spiel. Then
Yeah.
we'll get
Well, I
into
don't know
social-
if it's Tokyo, but...
Oh, Japan, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so here's an email from Trippin' Osaka.
Tripping on Saka?
Osaka. So it's probably Osaka, not Tokyo. So, hey, Graham, having difficulty donating from Japan. I tried donating $40 and it popped up with a message saying that PayPal wasn't supported in Japan. Any ideas for me? I'll send a screenshot of the message I got. I only recently started listening, but I love your show and have demanded everyone I know listen to it. I especially love the Randall Carlson stuff, Hybridization 232 and Out of Asia 223 episode. Also all the stuff with Connor Habib and the mindfulness one. I'm a South African, but I grew up in America and have spent the last 12 years traveling around the world. Currently, I do modeling, cycling tours in Osaka, and I teach part-time, have a guest house, and work at my friend's bar a couple nights a week. Unfortunately, I will never write a book, so I'll never be qualified to speak on your show, but I've dedicated my life to the pursuit of happiness, and I think I've got some revolutionary ideas that could really help you and your listeners. In English, well, first of all, I'll say that you don't have to write a book to come on the show. Actually, we'll probably try get this guy on the show. Might as well.
That's right.
We like to do weird things like that. Odd things, But yeah, you don't have to write a book. I mean, we've had listeners on the show before, and we like the participation.
Word up.
Anyways, he says, in English, we translate Buddha's teachings to say that he renounced his worldly desires, but in Asian languages, it translates differently. He gives up his bono in Japanese. There's not a good direct translation, but it roughly translates to emotional or psychological baggage. Sounds like the death of the ego or something like that. Meditation might allow you to recognize your bono, but ridding yourself of them requires a direct attack. All living things are driven by two forces, to survive and breed. Anything that inhibits our ability to do either is bono. Irrational fears, embarrassment, shame, desire, jealousy, anger. If you're scared of cockroaches, pick them up till you aren't. If you're embarrassed of your nudity, get naked until you aren't. Desire, give up your prized possessions. Sing on the streets, try to tell the absolute truth to everyone, etc., etc., etc. Anyway, I think there's a certain type of person who gets a PhD and writes a book. I don't think I'm that type of person. Yet I'd love to help if I can. Totally not expecting anything, no. Only very glad to have people like you doing what you're doing. Thanks, Ricard.
Ricardo?
Ricard.
I'm going to throw the O on.
Thanks, buddy. What a great email.
Yeah, so currently there's not really a better way other than sending in a check, I suppose. or email us.
Yeah.
Just email us.
Yeah.
We'll handle it on a case-by-case basis. I'm going to look at Patreon. I don't know what Japan has against PayPal. Seems kind of fucked up. You just email me your credit card number and I'll put it into PayPal.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Would that work though?
I don't know.
Maybe we should try it out. Anyways, if PayPal doesn't work, send us an email.
And we'll figure it. I'm going to try and get a Patreon going because it's been around long enough that it seems like it's going to stand on its own two legs. It doesn't seem like it's going anywhere.
Right,
so
right.
maybe I'll go ahead and just get that going as another option.
Yeah.
But currently those are the only two options.
Well, what about
One
Bitcoin?
option.
I mean, Bitcoin.
Oh, there's
is
always
there too.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The address is on the website.
Right.
I can't just say the address. It's fucking retarded.
Okay.
But it's in the show notes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the show notes.
Oh, I think it is. Actually, I'm not sure if Bitcoin is, but it's on the site.
It's on the site for Circa.
So yeah, if you go into the show notes and you see /support, that'll take you to the support page of the site, which has all the different ways to support, which would include the Bitcoin address, right?
That's right. So you might as well just check out grimerica.ca/support, guys. Sign up for a monthly if you can. Without you guys, the show would not be going. So, the people that do support the show are the people that produce this show, and you let all you guys listen to it. So there's a bunch of options there. There's $1 a month, $2 a month, all the way up to $30 a month. You can email me if you want a custom number. You can do a one-time donation. Any one of those things is great. Of course, the monthlies do help out the best. And, of course, we have started rewarding the supporters with some bonus episodes a couple times a month. Just to say thank you to the people that have been supporting the show for years and keep it going and try to get a few people on board.
Yeah, we're calling it our Black Budget support feed.
Yeah, so I think there's 7 or 8 episodes in there right now. Next month, we're going to throw in a roundtable and maybe a trip report episode.
Yeah, we might do a trip report where Darren is going to talk about his long-awaited, and me, I don't really have any profound ones, but I've got little ones. And maybe some listeners that have been saving up.
I think we'll do the road trip in this summer too at some point.
Another
That'll
Enter
end
the
up in
Mushroom sequel.
Yeah, I mean, part of the problem is that there's just too many people listening to this stream right now to start getting into some of the stuff we used to do.
Yeah, it kind of lets us have a feed where we can get into some more controversial stuff as well, and the people that listen to it, that know us, that are helping us by supporting the show, get to listen to all that, and we don't have to
Some
worry
stuff's
about.
pretty personal to you, like tripping on mushrooms is pretty personal for.
Because you had that mushroom episode out
Tens
for
of
a
thousands of
while,
people.
right? Until it started
Yeah, it
to
hit a
reach,
certain number,
and you're like, yeah,
like once it's been downloaded 3,000 or 4,000 times, it's like, ew. And I mean, now it's way more than that. So
yeah.
I don't need my mushroom trip going out to tens
Too
of
many
thousands of
people?
people. And I don't think we'll ever have tens of thousands of supporters. So
that's
safe
in there.
there.
Actually, that mushroom app is in there in this Black Budget feed, right?
the first one is, yeah.
And we actually did a show on Black Budgets, and we did a show on cyber stuff, and there's a couple
There's a
other
bunch
ones
in there,
yeah.
and we're going to do 2 a month starting in August. So if that's enough to coax you, then there you go. Of course,
Yep.
you don't have to do money. You can help the show up by sending in all sorts of, feedback helps, ratings help, reviews help, sharing the show helps a lot. Telling people about the show.
Yeah, I mentioned this too, is it doesn't
Spamming
matter.
down.
Like the donation amount doesn't even matter. Like you could give us, I mean, obviously we trust everybody that they'll give us value for value, right? Whatever they think the show is worth.
Yeah, you don't have to be on a set monthly, and you don't even have to be on a monthly. If you do a one-time, if I get a donation, I immediately send the link out to whoever the email came from.
Okay. So, and the monthly, it's any monthly as well, or any one-time
Any
donation?
monthly or any one-time
Now, what
donation.
are you sending these things out regularly? Like,
Right now, I'm sending them out as the payments come in.
so
if
daily,
you're-
so
if
it's
you're-
almost like daily
Daily,
then?
I send out a few. But it's like we started on like whatever day, right? Say if we started on the 15th doing it, I'm just picking an arbitrary number. Then the people on the 14th aren't going to get it till August 14th. So there might be people that haven't got it yet. And if you want it sooner, just email me. Because it's too much for me to try and go through and figure out, especially now that I've started doing it this way. It's
So
just
these
a
are the new.
mess.
So you're talking about the new donations that come in. You send out.
Yeah, because the
right
monthly
away, but the
people come out on-
regular monthly
yeah.
ones that haven't come up yet,
I'm
right?
cycling
Yeah.
through them.
Okay. So we're
But if you're
cycling
on a
through them.
monthly and you don't want to wait till whenever, just email me and I'll
Okay.
send it right away. It's
And
just
then-
too complicated to try and sort it all out.
And then
PayPal doesn't make it easy.
And then you're sending a link out for people to actually have access to a separate podcast feed, right? So these aren't
so
on
you need to have
YouTube or
a
anything
pod
like
player.
that.
You can't copy and paste the feed into your browser. It's turn into a bunch of gobbledygook.
But you could do it into most pod players.
All
The
pod
iTunes
players.
native podcast player and a lot of the other pod
All
players, you
podcast
copy the
players.
URL, you put it in there, and
That's
it'll
an
give you the
RSS
feed.
So you have to go to add a podcast by URL, copy and paste it in there, and away you go.
Right.
It's the only way.
Okay. And Spotify.
Spotify people are going to have to find a podcatcher, whether it's on their computer or their phone.
Can people find these on the computer? Can they do that on the
Yeah,
computer?
there's podcast players for everything.
For all electronic devices or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah,
you can find
yeah.
a podcast player and play it
Desktop,
easily in there.
laptop, tablet,
Okay,
phone,
okay.
iPad, iPod. They've all got fucking
Okay, cool.
podcatchers for them. And a lot of the Spotify people that have come now and got it for that feed are now switching to that's how they consume.
Right.
Because Spotify are streaming.
Oh, I have a hard time consuming audio in any way except for like on-demand podcast form and audiobooks. Like I
Once
have a
you
hard
go-
time with YouTube and
Once
a
you get
hard time with
podcatcher,
streaming.
you
like-
have a hard time going back to Spotify.
yeah.
I think. I don't know. I never used Spotify, so
But a big
Of course
shout
we
out to
do
all the
have-
Spotify listeners.
yeah, that's probably pretty quick growing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Spotify was great because I think there's only so many podcasts on there still.
The other thing we want people to know is that nothing is changing with Grimerica. We're still do the odd bonus episode in here as well. So at least once a week we do this.
Yeah.
Throw in the other odd one.
The back catalog
Same.
will always be free,
Yeah.
and there's still no commercials.
Yes.
Everybody wins.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. I was just going to say something else, but you made me. Oh yeah, the app will be coming out. It's pretty quick. We got an app going with Libsyn. They had a little option we could provide there for a couple bucks a year.
Libsyn is our hosting service.
Yeah, Liberated Syndication.
Yeah.
That's where we host all our podcasts and allows us to chew up all the bandwidth it takes and all that. They offer apps now as well. They're like $250 a year, so we're just going to jump on board and get one of those. So that's another way you'll be able to consume the show is just by downloading that. I wonder if we'll have to figure something out there. But anyway, the app's there. I don't think it'll have the extra content in it, but might be able to figure something out.
Right on. Okay, the other thing we should mention is the skydiving.
Ooh, it's a good thing you reminded me.
Guess what, Tim? Guess what I got for my birthday? My girlfriend gave
Parachute?
me. My girlfriend's taking me skydiving. She wants me to do skydiving with her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm hoping fucking eventually we can go get our course and shit.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So, yeah, a friend of the show, James Nation, is, he doesn't put it on, I don't think. I believe it's his skydiving place that puts it on. But, oh shit, where'd it go? Yeah, his skydiving, the place where he skydives, puts on this special every year where they take teddy bears and they jump out of planes with them and go skydiving and take pictures of them all. And it's $20 a teddy bear, and then they take all the teddy bears to the children's hospital and give them out to all the kids with pictures of their teddy bears skydiving. So they do this every year. It goes all summer. I think last year there was a pretty bad turnout. I think they only did like $620. So this year we decided that we're going to try and help them out a little bit and see if we can't get that number way, way up. You don't have to be in Calgary. It's just a GoFundMe page. So it's the web address is gofundme.com/bravebears/donate. We'll put a link to that in the show notes. Y'all know James jumping out of planes all the time. So, of course, I got Graham and I each a bear. And if any of you guys want to do that, then you're more than welcome to do so. I'll tell you what, if you buy a bear and send me a screenshot, I'll give you the black budget support feed.
That's a good idea. What was it? GoFundMe.com/bravebearsflying/donate.
So, hey, Japan guy, buy 2 bears. That could be the donation.
GoFundMe.com/bravebears/donate.
Yeah.
That's a good cause.
That's right. So screenshots of you buying bears will get you the black budget support feed. And a picture of Graham's calves.
No. Yeah, okay.
Bingo, bango, social media jingle. Don't forget to rate, comment, and or subscribe to the Grimerica newsletter. Bingo, bango, social media.
Okay, from Graham Cole.
Don't
I love Dr. Cameron Bolter, but she is so enthusiastic about her knowledge, and her knowledge is vast. I sincerely hope that she changes people's views about the pyramids. It is the most exact info we have to date. People are so asleep that they either take it on their own level or they try to mock it. That should be D-U-E. He spelled do wrong, so I'm reading it wrong. Due to unconscious, lazy-minded individuals, not keen on the ideas that they are not living to their own full potential, who likes to realize that they are machines living in a Groundhog Day type life. This interviewer is a total dick, by the way.
Wow.
I asked which one, but he never responded.
This is feedback from YouTube, or?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have a troll jingle. Maybe we need a troll jingle, like Billy Goat
from
Croft,
good old
like,
Yoni. Me, personally, I fucking love hate speech and vindictive linguistics and weaponized satire and insulting the fuck out of those who are easily triggered for whatever the fucking reason. I especially love it when they fucking hate it. I do.
Oh my God. So was that other feedback?
That was in response to the ref. Beautiful move, ref. Thanks for that suspension, but fuck.
So
here we go from Julian.
So Darren, wait.
No, we're not stopping. Great stuff. The obvious question is how to make hybrids at home. Anybody have any useful information on that? Okay, go ahead.
Was the dick joke? Was the dick comment about the that episode?
Yeah,
that's probably why. Because you were being a dick about the suspension, probably.
No, it was about the Carmen Bolter episode.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
What else do we got here? At the end, they question how an agency could just create a scene to oppose the war. I think it's deeper than that, and the entire 60s is a blueprint for what was written decades or centuries ago. We know that there is knowledge the elites know and that we aren't privy to yet, not to mention technology. And if the evil one is orchestrating it, he already has a picture of what needs to be done to get there.
Wow.
That was on the Dave McGowan episode.
That's weird because it sounds like feedback from an episode we haven't even released yet.
I listened to y'all on Spotify and on here. Y'all fucking rock. Graham, you sound like Joe Rogan.
Oh my God.
Someone else said you sounded like something else. I haven't looked it up yet, though.
That's a good one. Someone else said you sound like something else.
I give this episode 2 thumbs up just for the Spaceball reference. I have a fever, and the only cure is more Spaceballs references.
I don't even remember that.
Me neither. That might have been something I just doubted.
No, probably about the jam. The jam, maybe? No? Ludicrous Speed? Sorry, no, I didn't see you playing with your toys, sir.
Slight grammar. Oh, that was when I put the wrong title. Love the show, and this topic is cool too. I agree this cast is kind of hard to listen to, but I think the guest may just not be the best at putting a very long story into a short interview. Super interesting topic, though. I will be looking to the story more now.
What was that?
That was on Jim Chestnut? No. Fox Saga?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's enough for now.
Right on. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, there you go. Got anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Well, time to jump into it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, enjoy the chat with...
The Manual for Developing Humans. It's very interesting.
Ooh, there you go. Enjoy.
So tonight we've got the one of the original researchers in the field of near-death studies, PMH Atwater, with us. She's got a fascinating new book out, The Manual for Developing Humans. I just finished it. It was very, very interesting. She's been looking into this for decades. She's written like 15 books on the topic for the most part. And it's really interesting. We're looking forward to getting into your book. Welcome to the show, PMH. How's it going?
I'm fine. You're saying it's a pretty good book?
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, weren't you impressed?
I was. I'll tell you what, I was really impressed at all the different topics that you cover in it. Like, it really is interesting to see the take on everything from like spiritual development and politics and economy, and you get into all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. All the basics for being a full, complete human being.
And I mean, a lot of it wasn't a surprise to me because it was a lot of it's pretty. I would say it's logical, it's spiritual. It's when you get into development and stuff like that. But there was some interesting takes, even as far as talking about the history of the Earth and catastrophism, and you touch on a lot of the topics that we've talked about with our guests in the past. Which that was kind of surprising to me that you would, touch on stuff like that as well, climate change and where we came from as humans.
The purpose of the book is to help us be fully human. Because if we look at all of these topics singly, or if we just strive instead to be the best spiritual person we can be, that's all backward thinking. If you are fully human, if you are fully all that you were born to be, that includes the spiritual, plus it includes everything else. And one of the things literally, in olden times, the word Hu, H-U, meant God. That was the tone and sound of God. Human was understood to mean God-man. So if we are fully ourselves, we're literally a God in the making. And one of the things I've found, maybe you have too, when you when you start studying all these different topics, if you start talking about them, if you start reading about them, nobody gives you how to live them. Nobody shows you how to bring that into your life in a practical way that really works. So that's what the manual is for. It's not to titillate you. It's not to open up all these new topics for you, because obviously for you they're not new. What the manual is for is to help you bring them into your life in a way that's usable. So that's what the manual's for.
Well, it was also very interesting as far as topics goes as well, but there is a lot of like to-dos, like you can do this and you can do that to get healthier, to be more conscious, to all kinds of things like that.
Yeah, and you develop intuition, the paper bag trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all in there to help us put it all together. Not just play, mental tricks, but to put it in our life in a livable, doable way. But, that wasn't my idea. And the way it's written was not my idea. I don't know if you noticed when you read through it, it has a fifth dimensional format. And I don't know how many books you've read that have ever had a fifth dimensional format. In the fifth dimension, all is revealed intention rules. So every topic is approached from conscious, subconscious, superconscious, or intellect, intuition, and knowing. So you get the full thing, the circle as you go through. So it's not a matter of logic. It's a matter of what works on all levels. If we're going to be fully human, we need to operate on all levels. And so that's, and like I said, that wasn't my idea. I mean, I wouldn't have known how to do it. That all came from the voice like none other that spoke to me during my third near-death experience. And then all the thought form drawings, everything.
Maybe we should.
Different.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Yeah, we should roll that back.
Let's put some context.
In the 70s.
Yeah. So let's put some context to that. So it came from your third one. So you've had this information for quite a while, and you decided to come out with it, just recently.
No.
Do you want to talk do you want to talk about what happened back then, just to give some people some background?
Yeah, I haven't been sitting on it. Not at all. Okay. Let's talk about how it all came to be. Because if we're going to talk about that, then we're talking about death.
Right.
We're talking about what I went through after I came back from dying. My first death was January the 2nd, 1977. That was a miscarriage. I was raped. An extreme hemorrhaging. The second one was 2 days later, January 4, 1977. And that was a major thrombosis in the right thigh vein, followed by the worst case of phlebitis the specialist had ever heard of, let alone seen. And then the third one, I had 3 in 3 months. And the third one was March 29. And we don't know to this day what killed me. Doctors think, it might have been a heart attack. We can't be sure. Nobody knows for sure. Graham, and Nathan, most people seem to forget that near-death experiences, at least the majority of them, come from violence or trauma. So you've got a body to rebuild afterward, along with dealing with this, whatever it was that happened. And for me, I had to relearn how to crawl, how to stand, how to walk, how to run, how to climb stairs, how to tell the difference between left and right, how to see properly, hear properly, and rebuild all my belief systems. So I was challenged to relearn life. What is this stuff? I literally did not know who my children were. I did not know what food was. The fact that we eat food. I didn't understand sheets, soap, pots and pans. Had to relearn it all. Everything that I had done before, I had to relearn from scratch. And then later that fall, I had 3 major relapses, one of which was adrenal failure, total adrenal failure. I was working at the time with a blood pressure reading of 60/60, which means I wasn't doing too well. And it took about a year for me to be reasonably human again after all of that. And that's when the pressure from this voice became quite great. And it was that voice that told me to be a researcher. I was on my way at the time to being a bank manager. I was taking classes in bank management. Well, I've got to be, you guys are really experienced. I'm going to be very real with you. For a decade before this ever happened, I had been deeply involved in metaphysics, psychic phenomena, transformations of consciousness, researching that to the tune of thousands of people. I started Idaho's first nonprofit metaphysical corporation. I guesstimate about 3,000 people that I either worked with, put on conferences for, talked with were part of the research I was doing because I was a ghostbuster. I mean, I did all the psychotronics. I did all the stuff and was showing other people. So my goal at the time was to get away from all of this sensational stuff and show people what's real and then how to do it. So I brought in speakers, and like I said, nearly 3,000 people. And, I taught meditation, taught all of this stuff. For some reason, in this lifetime, I tend to be the particular kind of person who it's not enough that I do it. It's not enough that you do it. For me, I need to see it from thousands of people, hundreds of people. I need to look at things from 360 degrees. I need to tear it apart, put it back together again. Is it real or isn't it real? It's not enough that I see it or do it or, any of that kind of stuff. I'm always testing.
So this was all from before your NDEs?
Well, I'm giving you the before.
Yeah.
I'm giving you background.
Yeah. So the voice
and just simply helping you to realize that I had been in this field for a long time, but I had reached a point in my own spiritual life and that I wasn't satisfied with my life. Mm-hmm. I wasn't satisfied with the way things are going. And that wonderful, wonderful phrase that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. And I really felt I was at that point in my life where I needed a new teacher. I got death instead. I was expecting a person.
So the voice you heard in the fall, was it the same? So did you hear that voice as well during your third NDE? And then
I didn't hear any voices in the fall. That voice I heard March 29, my third near-death experience.
Right.
That third time I died is when I heard that voice for the first time. I call it the voice like none other because I don't know what else to compare it to. Mm-hmm. My sense was it was of God. And that voice told me to do the research. Quote, this is what it said, quote, test revelation. You are to do the research. One book for each death. It showed me what that was. It did not show me how to do it. The book number 1 was not named, so I have no idea what book number 1 was. My suspicion is that was my first major book, Coming Back to Life, which is now available on Amazon. But I don't know for sure. Mm-hmm. The second book was Future Memory. Future Memory is out there. It's a companion to the manual. Future Memory is the whats and whys of the universe and of creation. Every sentence, every paragraph, every page of that book is part of the math I used to create the labyrinth format. It is not a book. It is a labyrinth. You read through it like you would walk through a sight labyrinth. The purpose of the book is to raise your consciousness up to the next highest level possible for you. The book is literally a brain changer. It is a psychotronic device. It's not a book. It's a labyrinth. It's a brain changer. So, and that voice came back for the writing of that book because I didn't know how to put it together. I had tried 7 times to write that book and couldn't do it. And so the voice came and showed me how to do it, and was with me until it was finished. Then it disappeared. It the manual, A Manual for Developing Humans, the third book, was actually the first book I ever wrote. It was number one, and I wrote it according to how I was directed to write it, and then I did what I always do, or almost always do with my material. I sent it out for peer review. And I sent it out for peer review, and everybody who read that book said, the world is not ready yet for this book. Put it in a box. So I did. I put it in a box. And there it lay for 39 years.
Wow.
It didn't touch that box at all. The thought form drawings, everything. They were all done. Then, when was it? Well, it was, I think, in 2014. A very, very good friend of mine, Robert Van de Castle. Maybe you know him. He was one of the world's leading authorities on dreams. His book, Our Dreaming Mind, is one of the best books on dreams ever written. Bob died. It was in March, I think, of that year. I can't remember for sure, but early that year. And I went to his memorial. I was there early. No one else was there, so I was sitting out in my car. And Bob manifested in the seat next to me. And he looked at me and started laughing. And he said, "I knew you'd come." And then he left. So I waited a little bit, and then I went inside. And I was seated on the right-hand side, third row, middle. And I'm looking at the dais, and they have this big photo of Bob. I think one of the best pictures of him that was ever taken, actually. And so I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden Bob comes out of his photo, and he looks at me right in the eye, and he says, "It is time." That's all he said. Now, Bob knew about the book in the box. And I knew that's what he was referring to.
Wow.
So after his service was over, I scooted home as fast as I could, and I opened up that box. And bear in mind, that's the first time in 39 years I opened up that box. Of course, it stunk to high heaven. Practically had to fumigate the place. But when I can finally stand to, ruffle through all the pages that were stuck in the box, I thought to myself, this isn't half bad. So I made my commitment then to do it, to put it together, and the voice came back for doing that, and when it was done, the voice left.
Wow.
So that's sort of a brief history of this voyage of mine. These books are kind of personal in the sense that they came from my near-death experience, Future Memory, and A Manual for Developing Humans. All the other books were research, and I was shown and told to do those, not by the voice, but by I never chose to write a single book. I mean, nobody believes that. 15 on near death. Nobody believes that I never chose to write. The air would fill up with sparkles. Beautiful, beautiful little sparkles, and they'd fall on my desk, and they'd start to spell out things, and I'd get this name or topic that I was to write about, and you don't ever do anything you're told to do. No, never. You always double check. Always. So I went into prayer, and I would always ask, is this appropriate? Is this best for me to do for my highest good and the highest good of all concerned? Is this right? And if I got the high sign, then the researcher in me comes out, and I become the technician. And I do my work. And I'm very thorough. I'm a cop's kid. I was raised in a police station. So when I say I'm thorough, I'm not kidding. And, all those books are out there.
So what was it like reading the content of that book? Like, did it seem, 39 years later, because your book is it's also very modern, right? Was it hard to update that with all the new technology and all the new geopolitical stuff? I mean, how did you put the two together?
You're not going to believe me when I tell you, but I'm going to tell you anyway.
It was already like that.
First of all, yeah. First of all, I got to tell you about the voice like none other. It's taken me a long time, decades, to figure out what that voice is. And I didn't finally put it all together until just last month. So this is recent. That voice is not a voice. It's not a voice. I don't channel. I'm not a medium. I'm not interested in that. What I call a voice. Let me describe to you what it's like when that voice comes. I'm sitting in my office. It's filled with air. Look around you right now. See all the air? There's lots of air in your room, right?
That's pretty stale in here. Actually, we're in like a bunker. There's hardly any air left.
But it's still kind of air. When that voice comes, what I call a voice, when that voice comes, the air folds over. Literally, you can see it. It folds over again and again and reveals what I call the voice. And I can't really say that the voice comes in. I can't really say that whatever it is waves in any way. What I can say is that the room fills up with shimmer. Let me describe that for you. My second near-death experience was the entirety of it was spent in the void, what I came to call the void. The void is kind of a dark place, not a frightening place, but kind of a dark place. There's no sound, there's no color, there's no people, there's nothing in the void. Yet the void feels like everything that ever existed, everything that exists now, and everything that will ever exist is right there, right at that moment. The void is sort of like the ultimate womb of creation, or the universe, whatever you want to call it. But there is one thing in the void. I said there was nothing there, but there is one thing in the void, and that's the presence of a shimmer. And as near as I can tell you what shimmer is, imagine in your mind a Jell-O mold. You just dumped the Jell-O onto a tray from a mold, and you're sticking out your finger to touch that Jell-O. And just before you get to the Jell-O, it's not moving. Your finger is just about to touch it. There's that presence and feeling of shimmer. It's that shimmer that fills the void. And it's that shimmer that I worked with to do future memory and to do the manual.
Did you
it
gain?
Doesn't talk.
Did you gain?
It doesn't talk.
Did you gain?
What it does is.
Okay, keep going.
What it does is it kind of nudges and shows and you feel it, and I follow those feelings, those nudges, that sense. There was actually the manual was the hardest book I've ever written because I didn't know how to put it all together. So I'd be sitting at my computer, and you're looking at a blank screen, and I would yell out, "Okay, give me a word, give me a sentence, help me get this started," because I don't know even how to start it. So that's how it all came to be. Is that sense or that feeling of gathering all this material, updating all of this material, of bringing together everything in the manner that it's written. Again, this is not a regular book or manual. It's a fifth dimensional format. I didn't know how to do that, but there it is.
So it's almost like your youthful metaphysical experiences was like training. And then do you think something happened to you during that NDE that enabled you to see the shimmer or to sense the shimmer? Like, could we all, is the shimmer there for all of us, but you gain special access to it?
Well, I think it's there for all of us. They talk a lot about it in yoga and the Upanishads and, all the Vedic teachings and meditation. The old yogis, they talk about the void. Lots of people talk about the void or write about the void. I had never read any of that. I'm now aware of it, but I'd never read any of that before I died. I mean, I didn't even know the word void. That just came to me when I was actually in that space. I was in the void, because that's the only name or phrase I could think of that applied to where I was. So that's all I can offer you. Some people do train for it. Some people accidentally slip into it when they get into a deep meditation. I guess there are classes for it, although I don't know who teaches them or where. I just know did my previous experience prepare me for that? Well, I've got to say yes. But, how do you delineate that? Because my three experiences, the first one was more of an out-of-body experience, so that's sort of like a lot of other people's. My second one was in the void. That's very different from a lot of other people's. My third one was at that center point that center point of creation, where I could watch it all happen. I could see it happen. I could find out how creation actually works. And I talk a lot about that in Future Memory, by the way. If you want to get into that deeper aspect of what a soul is, and the things I actually saw in my experience, and what I was able to track when I started studying science and quantum physics and this kind of thing, I was able finally to put 2 and 2 together and get some kind of 4. And that's all in Future Memory. But the manual is the how. I mean, we can talk till we're blue in the face about all of these theories and all these wonderful experiences people have, and they are incredible. Some of them are frightening, some of them are wonderful, but they're all incredible. But when push comes to shove, how do you live it? How do you bring it into your life in a practical way that enhances your life and helps you to be more fully human? I mean, the purpose of the manual is an invitation for you to think for yourself, to take control of your life, both its unfoldment and the responsibility that comes with that unfoldment, and align yourself with the directive of your soul. That's what the manual is. It's not just a party of all these wonderful things, but it's a how to do it.
Yeah, you've got all kinds of stuff in there about the physical world and the physical body and your spirit body and the energy body. I mean, it gets into all kinds of stuff. You can do exercises and all kinds of focus techniques and intentional expansion. I mean, everything. It really is all encompassing. But I'm really curious about how you found this old, or not found it, but you opened up this old box and then added all this, because it's very contemporary as well. So was that the process of the shimmer and the praying and listening for direction on how to combine it all together?
Yeah, how to combine, how to update, how to put in, what to put in. Yeah, it's all directed by that sense of shimmer. Yeah.
How long did that take to rewrite?
It took about a year. I think it was about a year, a little over a year. And then have the editor work on it. I hired an editor to work on it, and that took some time. And then hunting for a publisher. Who's going to publish this? And that took some time. And then it finally gets to the publisher, and the printer finally gets on the bookshelves. And that was April of this year. So we're talking the early part of 2014 until it was actually on the bookshelves.
Yeah.
So
3 years.
That to me was
So how did you connect all your research, like your decades of research of NDEs to the manual? Like, did that influence? Was it more?
I really don't. Kind of, sort of, but mostly not. I'm going to say kind of, sort of, in some ways, because if you really, really look at the near-death phenomenon as I have,
yeah,
and really do it in depth with both children and adults, then you come face to face with the fact, and it is a fact, that the near-death experience reveals more about life than it does death. And what it reveals is absolutely startling. Near-death experience is the most common phrase spoken by adult near-death experiencers afterward is, always there is life. Now, if you really look at that, There's no such thing as a before life. There's no such thing as a now life. There's no such thing as an afterlife. It's all life. We have always existed. We exist now. And we always will exist. That turns according to our needs. If you're really looking at the near-death experience, what it reveals is that we're all psychic, that we're all intuitive, that we're all innovative, that we all can take these out-of-body trips, that we all can bend time, that all of this that's in the manual is absolutely normal to each and every one of us. And that's what the near-death experience shows, if you're going to be really honest. It gives you 360 degrees all at once. And that's what confuses so many experiencers. They're getting this 360 degrees all at once, and they can't handle it.
Do you think that's like a break in your consciousness filter or something that somehow stays active while you're alive?
I'm sort of tossing with the word break. Certainly your consciousness expands, and expands hugely. Maybe that's not a word, but I just invented it.
Well, we started with bigly. Hugely should be okay.
For some people, it's not that great. Not everybody has the full, intense phenomenon occur. In my research base of 3,000 adults, let's see, what were the numbers? I think it was like 21% claimed that their near-death experience did not make that much of a difference in their life. All of the rest of them claimed that it made such a difference that it was almost like discovering another world, a new world, a greater part of them, an expanded part of them. Some people even went so far as to say they became a different person or a newer person or a more expanded person because of it. So if you look at that vast majority, I mean really vast majority, the near-death experience was a life-changing event. Not life-changing in the sense that they came back to life, but life-changing in the sense of what kind of life they came back to. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they discovered so many things, like for instance, the after effects. It's the after effects that validate the experience, not the other way around. A lot of people get mixed up on that. The after effects are both physiological as well as psychological. And the physiological, few people talk about. I don't know why, because I think that's really big. On the physiological, it changes brain structure and function, changes the nervous system, the digestive system, and skin sensitivity. And most of them take on a lot of sensitivities afterward. Certainly electrical sensitivity is one of them. Clearly about 70% or more have electrical sensitivity afterward. For me, for instance, I can't wear watches. There's no way I can use a cell phone or iPads or any of that kind of stuff. Either I blow them up or they blow me up.
Do you have trouble reading the screens on iPads and stuff?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I try to stay away from them as much as possible.
That's how I get when I'm on mushrooms. I can't even tell what my phone says. No, fuck.
Yeah. Well,
And there's probably, I'd say there's some crossover.
I fixed my computer so I can use it. And the way you do that, or the way I did, I have a desktop. So between my keyboard and the monitor, there's that space. I filled it up with amber. And it doesn't have to be gem grade. It can be hunks of amber, unpolished amber, got lots and lots of amber, because amber absorbs the blue light and all that radiation from the computer and transmutes it so that you can handle your keyboard and your monitor without it hurting you. And then have lepidolite around you, that's the lithium stone. Have carnelian to balance. Have plants nearby. And then please have a window or some kind of outlet to the great outdoors or, nature. And then have cork, have your modems on cork, or as much as you can sitting on cork. And then that absorbs this stuff. And then you can handle it without injury. Oh, it's wonderful. And then always get acquainted with your computer, because it's your electronic helper. So I went into that deep space within me, the early stages of meditation or visualization, whatever you want to call it. I entered my computer and talked to it, got acquainted with my computer, let it know me, let it know my energy surges, what I'm like. And then I promised I would never hurt it or bother it, that we could work together and it would be okay. And I blessed my computer, gave my computer a name, and I've never had any problems with my computer since.
Probably do that with your car too. I mean, I remember my Nana used to do that. She had a name for a car, Maisie, I think it was.
Yeah.
And she used to talk to her car. Geez, my Nana was ahead of her time way back then.
Well, I asked my car if it wanted a name, and it said yes. So I said, well, what would you like to be called? And it said Navajo. So my car is Navajo. Allow that which is around you to have its own voice. You're not the great emancipator, the great God. Certainly you're God in the making, but allow life around you and your house, whatever, allow it to have its own voice so that it can communicate with you. And that's what I do. That's what I did. And that's what I did with my computer.
It's hard. It's hard to do. It's hard for me to sit still and listen to something, and then waiting for that. It really is. So like you mentioned that we can all become intuitive and psychic and have OBs, and we all have this ability. So would it be fair to say that your manual will teach us how to become more like that then? Especially for us that haven't had those.
Certainly has all the basics for how to do it. Another thing that I would share with you that's not in the manual is to practice tree bathing. That's the name of it. Came out of Japan. Apparently, I just heard about it. Apparently, in Japan, people go out in forests or where there's a lot of trees or where there's a tree, and they will sit and just fully relax and allow the trees to sort of bathe them with their energy, or open up to whatever the trees might share. And medically, it's incredible how the healing.
It's kind of like grounding, right? That people are doing too.
Oh yeah. So take up tree bathing.
I try and do barefoot yoga on the grass. That's good.
That too.
And and running in bare feet a little bit on the earth.
I think that a lot of people refer to that as forest bathing as well. I spend a lot of time in bare feet.
Yeah.
In my yard. Yeah. I try and get my kids not to put their shoes on too. Much to my wife's chagrin.
It all helps. We're part of Mother Earth.
Yeah, I find some of the best way to ground myself is to take my feet off outside. Well, take my shoes off and
take your feet off,
put my feet on the grass.
You're clever.
Yeah. But, it does help, taking your shoes off, put your feet on the grass.
Yeah.
And sometimes just meditating in a particular area, it can really, make me feel like I've got some clarity. It can make me feel a lot lighter, like things get pulled out of me that, I've been struggling with, on an energetic level. And I can go away and within a few, days after that, I feel much better than I was previously.
Well, that manual is full of all kinds of tips. Like how many of us know that the 6 weeks before your birthday is the weakest you will be that year?
What about the day after your birthday?
6 weeks after your birthday are the strongest you will be that year.
Oh.
And
so I'm in my
6
strongest.
months.
I'm peaking right now. My birthday was yesterday.
From your birthday is where you have your most challenges and, maybe problems. So know this about the natural flow of your body on the earth plane. 6 weeks before your birthday, 6 weeks after your birthday, 6 months from your birthday. This is always true every year. At least true in general. Also know that everything at eye level in any and every room in your home. So everything at eye level in your home, the various rooms, is what you're praying for. Literally, it's what you're praying for.
Because you see it the most, because you notice it.
Absolutely, it's subliminal. Absolutely, it's feeding you. It's literally what you're praying for. So take a good look at what you have at eye level. Is that what you really want in your life?
That's interesting.
I'm sick of sitting across the table from Graham all of a sudden.
Well, that's what the manual is full of. It's these tips, these understandings, these explanations, these exercises, simple ones, to help you be fully who you are. It's time. When Bob Van Castle said it was time, it's really time for all of us. Look at what's going on in the earth plane now with the various countries, with the various politics, with jobs, with drugs, with everything. Look at it all. The main way to deal with this, the best way to deal with all of this, to help you be sane, is to know yourself and be yourself, to be all that you can be, because if you are, you will know what to do or where to go or how to handle it. It's not the latest stock market tips. It's not, the kind of things that we would normally think of every day in our lives. Rather, it's know yourself, love yourself. That's the greatest. That's the greatest challenge of all.
It is challenging. It's hard. It's hard to slow down and quieten things enough to actually get there, to even start to focus on that.
That's what the manual is. So go back and reread it.
Oh yeah. No, I will. I will. There's a lot of good. There's a good little tips in there.
Improving book. That's the
Yeah.
what was that one called again?
The memory, the one?
The memory one. Is that the one
Future
that's
Memory.
like choose
Future
your own
Memory.
adventure that I just jump all over the place and raise my consciousness?
Oh, yeah, that's future memory.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that.
That'll help you too.
I'm gonna read
That'll
it
help you too.
So what was it like completing this manual for you then, since it's been a part of your life for so long? Did your life change after? Or?
You're not going to believe this either. When it was actually out, then that incredible blasting energy I was given when I died to do the work, to do the mission, it left. In 10 minutes.
Wow.
I could see it leave. I could feel it leave. I could hear it leave. It left. It's gone.
Do you miss it?
I don't know. It just took off. It left. It's gone. I had a very strong, wonderful singing voice. That's gone. My voice has changed. So it's scrappier now than it used to be. I'm softer. I'm friendlier now than I used to be. I actually rest once in a while now. I didn't used to. I mean, I was just, I would work for about 30 years of my work. I worked 6.5-day work week, average about 12 hours a day. I mean, when I say I did a lot, when I say I was thorough and rechecked and checked again my work, I'm not kidding. That's exactly what I did. That's all gone. And I finally came to realize for the first time in my life, literally for the first time since I died, I can now make a choice. I can do what I want to do. And I'm going, wow, I can really do what I want to do with my life. And so the first thing I did, I promptly decided to write 4 more books.
No way.
I think some people are crazy.
No, are you really going to write 4 more books?
Yeah. Yep, I'm already working on one of them.
What's it called?
Kidding.
What's it about?
I'm working on I'm examining near-death cases with people who were between womb and the age of 5. And that, in other words, I'm going after the tiny ones because I noticed things with them that is not true of people of any other age. And I want more data. I want to examine that more thoroughly because I think I know what's going on, but I'm not sure. And so I really want to take a look at that. And then, I want to write some other different kinds of books.
Well, you got to admit.
And I want to spend more time with my husband. He's so cute. I love my husband. I want to spend more time with him.
That's good. I mean, you got to admit the NDE research is probably some of the most important stuff going on now as far as we are in a bit of a battle against materialism, really. There's still this paradigm that controls our society in a way, right? That, everything's materialistic and...
Well, read my books. The Big Book of Near-Death Experiences, that's an encyclopedia of the world, not just in the United States, worldwide. Then Near-Death Experiences, the rest of the story... that's of my research.
Have you seen us winning? Is it winning? Are you opening things up at all? I mean, is the community changing? Like from my point of view, people are becoming more and more aware to this other reality, and things seem to be opening up. But maybe
they are. But I want to go further. Mm-hmm. I want to do more. Mm-hmm. Because what I'm seeing is that people are expecting near-death experiences to be like what's shown on television and to be like what's in the best-selling books. And that's simply not true. The kinds of things they do on television, that's only about 12 to maybe 20% of the cases are like that. Most cases do not happen in hospitals. So you're getting sort of a one-sided view of what it's all about, and then the idea of the tunnel. The tunnel is a media creation. It was created by the media after Raymond Moody, to sensationalize Raymond Moody's first book. And I'm not saying there aren't tunnels. Indeed, there are. Both children and adults have them, but not that many. There's only about maybe a fourth to a third of the cases ever have tunnels.
Does that include light at the tunnel? Do you mean light and the tunnel, or just tunnels?
Just the tunnel. The tunnel. Lots of people have lights. The number one element is the out-of-body experience. Most people, adults and children, will have that. The next one is that light, that incredible light. The third one is being met by a greeter of some kind. Mm-hmm. And then the fourth is the life review. And those are the main ones most people will have. Everything else is kind of extra or different, or, maybe just true for that person, or maybe just a few people. We ought to do a show on just the near-death experience. I know.
Yeah, it was it's good. I'm glad you answered that.
One of these days, we're going to crack Graham in the head with a hammer on the show. Just to see what we can come up with.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Graham. Have you done any work or research into these people who are having similar experiences with psychedelics or anything like that, or meditation, or do you think there's other ways to get there other than dying?
Well, certainly meditation and mindfulness are powerful ways, especially mindfulness, in quieting the mind, opening up those portals, those doors within you to where you can begin to access more of your own mind, more of your own soul. Extremely important. Prayer, absolutely. These type of things, I believe, are essential to a balanced life. If you want a balanced life, you want a healthy life, it's not just exercise and food. You've got to have the other stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in 2014, I actually had a past life regression, and things changed for me. I'm not exactly sure if it was an NDE of such, but it was probably as close as possible that I've experienced one. And I went back and went through an experience in my past that actually had some effects to what I've been dealing with in my most recent years. And I guess from then forward, I lost my fear of death through just that small experience. So, even if I didn't go through a complete NDE, I definitely had some beginnings for my journey, for my spiritual journey, that are still with me, yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I had
certainly, the near-death experience is not the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. These are all threshold experiences. That's what they are.
And I had
threshold experience is any type of intense transformation of consciousness. It can be a Kundalini breakthrough, baptism of the Holy Spirit. It can be a vision quest. On and on and on. We can have these experiences in lots of different ways. What makes the difference is, how did it change you?
Well, sometimes it's hard to tell. It's a subtle, like I had what I think now is it was a Kundalini awakening and in a vision quest, which when there was no drugs involved, it was all breathing and sound. But afterward, I mean, I had all my chakras spinning, and it was a super crazy spiritual experience.
Powerful.
But I didn't really.
That, by the way, is the second book I want to write.
There you go. But but I didn't see any change right away. But like now, when I look back, that was a pretty big shift in my life. I mean, that's when we started the podcast. I think after that, or close to it. I mean, things really started to accelerate for me.
Yeah, I think you see some things happen, and it's almost like a rebirth. Whether it's certain types of NDEs or regressions or visions, and they kind of give you a second or third chance sometimes at readjusting what you're doing in your life and where you're going forwards from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I truly feel that one way or another, however we do it, to be fully healthy, we need to be fully conscious. And there are lots of different ways of helping that to occur and to keep it going. Once you get it open, to keep opening. And to open our consciousness in healthy ways. And once we do that, once we get on the bandwagon, so to speak, and involve ourselves in that type of change, it's just amazing how happier your life gets, how life is easier to live, even if you go through tragedies, even if you blow up your house or whatever, or lose your money and go bankrupt. Even so, you find ways of dealing with that a lot quicker and better. You find ways or learn ways of handling it that's quicker and better. I truly feel it's essential.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to have a healthy life, we've got to have a full life.
Yeah.
Full life has pizza in it. So I suppose we should let you get to your pizza.
Yeah, my husband just walked in the door, and the pizza's sitting on the table.
Good timing. Well, do you have one last question there, Nathan, for her? Or?
Yeah, I don't know if it's more really a question. It's more just something that I've heard before, and I guess it's really something that I'm needing to look into more. But I've heard and I've listened, through other podcasts and articles that I've read that you spoke earlier about the light tunnel and going through and seeing that. I've heard people discussing how it might be something along the lines of a reincarnation trap, almost like people constantly coming back into this, plane of existence and not being able to move to somewhere else. Any thoughts on that?
I would challenge that.
Yep.
Most people who have a near-death experience, about 50% of them accept reincarnation as a fact.
Right.
The other 50% do not.
Oh, wow.
There's really very few things in the experience, the phenomenon itself, that speak to that. There are some things that do. I did run across some case studies of myself in my own work where people actually had reincarnational kinds of things that occurred. this one woman who was involved in a car crash and died and came back. In her experience, she was engaged at that time to marry this a certain fellow. In her experience, she saw herself marrying him in a previous life. So once in a while you run into something like that, but it's very seldom. So I would really challenge that kind of theory.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to, anything else you want to say, or any place our listeners can track you down on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that?
Get on my website. Oh my goodness. www.pmhatwater.com.
Alrighty.
It's just one word, lowercase, PMH, and then at, and then water.
Okay. We'll put that link in the show notes.
So is it like
and I publish
water?
Yeah, PMHAtwater.com. That's my name. And I publish a free monthly newsletter. So anybody who wants to, subscribe to that certainly can. There's an archive of previous issues. You're going to want to read the last 3 issues, July, June, and May. Because of some incredible things science has found on time crystals, and then finding out that the brain can easily access and operate in 11 dimensions.
Nice.
So, the latest. And I call it the newsletter for the curious. So get on.
Yeah, I'm on there right now. I'll put links to that in the show notes, and that's great.
Oh, by the way, if you are a near-death experiencer or an experiencer of some kind of intense transformation of consciousness, when you're on my website homepage, there's a section called NDE After Effects.
We'll send
Get
Graham
in
there.
that NDE After Effects.
Okay.
And that, I call that the first aid for handling experiences, and certainly a manual for developing humans is the major book. But that part on my website, it's sort of like first aid for experiencers.
All righty, good. All right, well, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you.
That was a blast.
And blessings to everybody.
All righty, and enjoy your pizza.
I will.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
And that was our chat with the one and only PMH Atwater.
I think you guys will like this book. You should try it, Nathan. Really, it's one of those, like, there's a bunch of little tips and tricks in there for, like,
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet you just love it.
I do. There's some good
It'd be
stuff.
good.
I'll do a follow-up where I'll try some of these things. Like there's face massaging and hitting your acupuncture points.
I want to see a book like that put down to, like, back in the day they used to make those mini little back of the toilet books, or like a couple.
Yes, that
maybe
should
a paragraph a page.
Yeah.
With little, like, self-improvement tips.
I know the problem is I only got a PDF, so I listened to it on like triple speed.
I heard you listening to it today. I don't know how you can. I'm sure there's tons of people that listen to us on like time and a half.
You know what? It actually helps quite a bit.
If you listen on time and a half, you don't have to support as much.
It helps me focus on it, actually. So I'll just give you a second.
No, don't.
Ultimately on emotions and sensations to guide its decision-making process. You can be conscious without thinking anything, but you cannot be conscious without feeling. This is just the opposite of what we have been told.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's fucking fucked. Here, you want to hear some? Here, we'll throw Graham.
I can read fast, but that's just too much.
No, it helps me actually take it in. Okay.
We got to get to it.
Looking for badass Randall Carlson after hearing him on JRE. The podcast is great. Okay. At least a few times, and although I don't agree with all the guests, it's gems like Carlson and you two's rambling that more than make up for it. Of course, you get rambling too in there. You have to get the rambling Graham in there.
Rambling.
You couldn't have picked a better spot.
I know. I'm lucky like that.
So, anyways,
I don't know how you could do 3 speed.
It should be.
You can't even stop at double speed.
It's, hey, I only had like 4 hours to listen to this thing. It was,
Is the book available like e-book as well as like...
I don't know, maybe, but it should be like the back of a toilet book like Darren was talking about, or a coffee table book.
Right,
no offense by the back of the toilet book.
No, but I mean, that's like, you can flip through all these little chapters.
That's right.
Each page is like, chapters are like half page, right? Like turn your inner dialogue around is like half a page. Changing a habit.
I can read that in like a crunch.
Yeah, like with sex and more sex is 5 pages, so that might be a longer.
So it's a shorter book.
I'll read that when I'm jerking off.
Oh my God. when you're acquainting yourself with your computer?
I'm acquainting myself with my computer. Sorry, PMH.
Of course, that's what I thought of right away, too. I'm acquainting myself with my computer.
Yeah, you were rubbing your computer while she was saying it. So anyway, big thanks to PMH for coming on the show. Big thanks to Nathan for helping us out.
You're welcome.
Big thanks, Nathan, for giving us some support while I was here. All of you guys can head over to grimerica.ca/support.
You might have already heard Nathan already on an intro by the time this comes out.
Yes, you definitely would have. Yeah, you heard Nathan a couple weeks ago. So we'll talk about all that shit then. I won't bore you with it twice.
Okay.
But support the show. Check out grimerica.ca/support. Support the show. Sign up for a monthly if you can. Do a one-time donation. Of course, now we're doing we've got 7 shows or so in the Black Budget feed. And some more on the way. We're going to do an extra couple of months as a thank you for all the people that keep the wheels turning.
Yeah. Thanks for subscribing and supporting the show.
That's about it. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.
Seashell swoon. Maybe your easiest dreams make sweet perfume. While you're yawning, yet not breathing in a hospital room. Should I call for help? We are drowning in this ocean swell. Let's start from scratch, quit living these lies, and become unattached. The idea of some far-off future is the fuel for your worries. For God's sakes, time is eternal. Please do not hurry. Please do not fret. Please act now in a way that doesn't lead to regret. Please stop smoking so many cigarettes. So profusely, so profusely. Should I call for help? We are drowning in this ocean swell. Let's start from scratch, quit living these lies, Spam Graham.